All right, fellas. Welcome into the Auburn Sports. I almost said Auburn Live Modcast. It's the Auburn Sports, and we changed it up. I'm going to call it the Friday Forecast this year. Since we're not the only mods, we can't be, I thought, well, we can't be the only, can't be the Modcast since we're not the only mods anymore. So we'll go Friday Forecast this year with, I think,
I like it.
Well, Cole and Jeffrey, how y'all doing?
Fantastic.
Absolutely, man. Is it Friday morning for the listeners and watchers?
listeners.
Should be Friday morning.
Okay.
Friday morning. Game day
Absolutely.
on this occasion.
Gosh, I hope we get to watch the football game.
I think are you talking about the YouTube thing?
Football game. I will do crazy things to watch the football game.
I think I'm going to go to my dad's because he has like cable, and it's guaranteed. Like I thought, like
it got cleared up.
They got what?
It got cleared up. They have a temporary
that ends when.
Hopefully through Friday.
Friday at 6.
Wait, what? The temporary thing only goes through Friday at 6?
Now listen. This is not from the same source who told me Auburn was playing the Dallas Cowboys next year, but it's pretty similar. So I think it's worth looking into to win this temporary, whatever peace negotiation extension.
Yeah, we need to look into that.
Because I haven't, like nobody in their release on Wednesday, whether it was Fox or YouTube TV, they just said that it had been an extension, but it didn't say when that extension in or when that deadline is. And then I saw Thursday morning, I believe on Fox, they said it was Friday night.
What?
Like either before kickoff or at halftime. Worth looking into. Maybe by the time this comes out, we'll have some clarity.
Huh. Yeah, I'm going back and reading the story, and yeah, it just says short-term extension.
Mm-hmm.
I just figured that meant more than 2 days.
Like, at least get us to Monday, right?
Well, they know Auburn, Baylor, but more importantly, Texas, Ohio State for the nation.
Mm-hmm.
They cannot lose Fox through the Texas, Ohio State. I mean, the amount of people that will leave YouTube TV and go get Hulu or something else will be, a huge number. I mean, that just cannot happen. So we'll see. Yeah, I mean, I'm not traveling. I don't think Brian's traveling. We were going to obviously cover it from the game from home. So I'll have to, I guess, have a Hulu login on for emergency purposes.
Yeah, I got one as well.
I mean, man.
I think you can also download the Fox Sports 1 app on your TV and sign up for a 7-day free trial and watch it on that.
Oh, okay. I might be doing that.
It feels so strategic, doesn't it?
Well, same thing happened last year, right? It just wasn't Fox. Wasn't it somebody else last year?
It was ESPN.
Yeah. I mean, this is not the first time where it's been like college football, either before the season or sometime in the fall, where they've pulled this, and everybody's like, "Uh-oh, what do we do for games?"
Yeah, they better get it figured out.
They know what they're doing. Put it that way.
All right. Let's get into this season opener. Auburn Baylor, 7:00 kick on Fox. Auburn's 2.5-point favorite. It seems like a lot of the money is on Auburn. Looking at how different people across the country are picking, it seems like there's a lot of love for Auburn to win this game. Whether I know Josh Pate has Auburn winning this game, and I've seen others as well talk about going with Auburn. So despite the last few years of the doubts and the inconsistency, and I get all that. I mean, I'm with them. Like, you got to show me. There's still love for Auburn in this game. I mean, I think they're seeing a really talented team, and I guess that's where a lot of people are leaning, going Auburn's maybe more talented, despite what I think about the inconsistencies the last few years. Where do you guys come down on this? I know Brian's going to pick. I think our pick'ems and stuff are already up on the site, so we can definitely get into scores and all that. But what's your just initial thoughts? Is there, like, I'll tell you where I'm at. I think Auburn's more talented. I think Auburn could go in there and play really well. But I think I'm with everybody else where there's that thing in the back of your head that goes, but I haven't seen it in so long. I have not seen, Cole and I talked about this a few weeks ago. The last time I saw an Auburn team step on a field against decent opponent, not even great, like just a decent opponent, and take care of business, I had to go. I mean, you could go Ole Miss Harson's first year. That was a pretty close game, but that I guess that's a fair one. But I even thought all the way back to COVID when they beat LSU at home 48-11, and LSU was 5-5 that year. They weren't terrible, but they weren't great either. It has just been a long time since. I mean, even A&M last year, 4 overtimes. Auburn won, but they got destroyed in the second half of that game. Held on for dear life, won. It's just been so long since you watched an Auburn team go out there, be more talented, be better coached, not make mistakes, and look like a team that can play winning football week in and week out. It's just been a while.
Yeah, I think Auburn's going to win this football game. For some reason, I feel much better about it today than I have all off season. Explain that to me. I don't get it. But I will say this: going back through, I made it a point this year to go back and watch every single play one more time from every game, because I do that during the season. But I wanted to go back and do it during the off season. I'm really glad I did. That's going to be a major thing for me now, because it was not quite as bad as I realized, or as I thought in the first time around. It's I've been quoted saying bad football. Auburn's played bad football, and that's true, but I think it's more accurate to say bad football at bad times. Not always bad.
Yeah.
It's not just bad. It's just bad at bad times, inopportune times. And I will say, they didn't get a lot of bounces. They didn't get a lot of good bounces for whatever reason. That's got to happen a little bit more, for one. And for two, it's not as bad as I thought it was. So I feel better about this game today, Friday morning, as you're watching this going into the game, than I have. I'm not overly confident, but I'm a little bit confident.
Okay, I kind of take the and I've picked Auburn to win, and I feel pretty confident about Auburn. I will be absolutely surprised and extremely disappointed if Auburn loses this football game.
Yeah.
And you say, well, why? What have you seen that would make you believe that? And it's for me, it's the player acquisitions in the offseason. It's improving what the deficiencies were a year ago. I think they upgraded at quarterback. I think that was a big deficiency a year ago. I think offensive line has been upgraded. I think special teams has been upgraded. I think field goal kicking has been upgraded. My only questions now are the turnovers. Is that going to be a problem? Is red zone offense going to be a problem? And you'd like to look at those things and go back to what Justin said earlier is the talent. The talent is there. On paper, it is there. Will the coaching be there? Will the right play calls be there? So I look at what Auburn didn't do well last year and how they addressed it in the offseason, how they addressed each one of those concerns in the offseason. And I think they upgraded and absolutely addressed every one of those concerns. TBD on the red zone offense, TBD on third and long defense. But as far as the immediate concerns from last year, I think you upgraded and addressed those. And I'd like to give Auburn the benefit of the doubt for week 1.
Yeah. That's where I fall. I think the turnovers, certainly. I think what was, I mean, Cole, Auburn was like probably certainly in the hundreds in turnover rate last year. Baylor was pretty good. They were like in the 30s. Like, so if that stat carries over, Auburn will lose. I mean, I think that's certainly where we point to with this team, with this Auburn team, is go fix the turnovers. And everything we heard during fall camp was that they did a pretty good job of that. Did not hear many practices or scrimmages. I did not hear bunch of turnovers happening. I mean, I just week to week to week, I didn't hear that. I mean, I wrote about that, I guess, a week and a half ago, talked to somebody in the building that said they have not been turnover prone. And that wasn't just one scrimmage. It was probably the last 3 weeks. I didn't hear a lot of that. So, but what happens in a game, I don't know. But I think we all think Auburn is really talented. Like Cole and I were talking about this, Jeffrey. And I thought Auburn's top, let's say 15-ish. I think you could compare Auburn's, let's say, top 15 players, and they are not far off, to me, from some of the best teams in the league.
Completely agree.
Like, they're not there yet. You could find holes and all that. But, like, if you start talking about, would Texas or Georgia take Jay Crawford? Yeah. Would they take Keldrick Falk? Yeah. Would they take Connor Liu and Cam Coleman and Eric Singleton? And, like, there's some dudes where, like, that anybody would take them. You get into the top 30, nah, it's different. They're not there yet.
Correct.
But man, like, I don't know. I've thought about are we making too much of Auburn's talent? I don't think so. I think Auburn's really talented. Are we are we
Top
too
heavy
optimistic about their talent? Because it's been, my thing with this team is, like, I have to keep in mind how bad it's been. Am I looking at Auburn compared to where they've been and I'm making them something they're not, or are they legitimately, we're looking at Auburn going, no. They are talented enough to beat every single team on that schedule without luck. Like, they can beat Alabama straight up, like on a given day. Or am I letting the last few seasons, how bad that was, maybe skew what I think of this team? Is, you know what I mean?
You are. That's what you're doing.
Yeah, which is fair, right? Like, I'm not. It's just. I think it's natural.
I'll say talent. Yes, it's a big deal. It's been our talking point all season. But as we get closer and closer to this thing, I'm telling you, I'm not as worried about that. Yes, what talent does is it widens the margin for error, which was so tight last year.
Mm-hmm.
Now you've widened that. You've given yourself more room for error with the talent you have on the roster. Because I really believe this is more of an internal battle that needs to be won for Auburn. They've got to fix some things internally. They've got to stop beating themselves in order to move forward, and talent's not going to fix that part. But it does widen the gap, and it gives you more room for error. And I think Auburn's going to have that this year. So when you're talking about turnovers, okay, last year an interception was ball game. This year, I think you can live with it because you can turn around and throw a desperation to Cam Coleman. He's probably coming down with it or getting interfered with. I think. At least that's what I want them to do. So I'm happy about that. I know for sure the margin for error has been widened and you have more room to make mistakes like that. And I think in turn that helps Jackson Arnold so much more than Peyton Thorne was ever helped by it.
Several things I want to see from Jackson Arnold, and I think you talked about, Justin, there hadn't been a lot of turnovers in fall camp. That's been kind of the buzz behind the scenes, and I think this might be relative to is Jackson Arnold coming from Oklahoma. One of the biggest qualms of his was holding the football too long. We saw the visor being thrown because he was holding the football too long. I think at times last year, Peyton Thorne was trying to force things, or there was wrong routes ran, wrong depth, all of that. A lot of things went into the turnovers last year. I hope that Jackson Arnold can learn that his mom up in the stands can be a fantastic target at times. Because not turning it over is great. But are you not turning it over because you're taking a sack?
Yeah.
Throw that ball to your mom in row 17B. So I think I want to see what Jackson Arnold, how he handles the pressure. Is he holding the football too long? Is he doing because that was kind of, I'm guessing y'all heard the same thing. That was kind of his issue.
Oh yeah. I've seen it.
Right.
I've seen it on film. I've seen it in practice.
So I don't want the reason that the interceptions go down and the sacks go up because he's holding the football too long. Mm-hmm. Get rid of it.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, Jarrett Stidham, back to him. He, early that season, that first season, in which he had a great season, it started rough because he got sacked 11 times in the Clemson game. And everybody thought it was pass protection, but really, if you go back and look, he was holding on the ball too long. But sacks are better than turnovers. Throwing it away is better than turnovers, like you're saying. If Jackson Arnold has a healthy understanding of that, I see quarterbacks everywhere. They just freak out all the time now. What happened to poise?
Poise in the pocket, baby.
Freak out all the time.
The best quarterbacks have poise right now, and there ain't that many. There's not many left that are like that. Go watch games Thursday night, Friday. You got games. Go watch. Quarterbacks freak out. It's like they have too much. Even Kurt Warner has come out and made a statement about this. His son plays for Stanford. Didn't have a good game, by the way, the other day. But his whole point is, look, y'all got to calm down. Chill out. What are we teaching quarterbacks right now?
Yeah, that's an interesting theory. Like, I almost wonder if there's more, if mobility's become such a big part of the quarterback position that you have a ton of dudes who are mobile and they're just itching to run. I have no idea. But yeah, you're right about holding on. And that Jarrett said they also, I remember the beginning of that year and Chip Lindsey, they were also trying to be, man, they were just calling tons of vertical stuff downfield. And then they realized, hey, we have Kerryon Johnson back here. Why don't we just run the ball and get it? So they changed it up. But what's to your point, I remember that game. Stidham was sacked a million times in that Clemson game. They still almost won.
They had a chance. They had a Hail Mary play to have a chance to win.
So you're to your point about sacks and turnovers. And Jeffrey, you're right. Like Freeze said it. What he said on Monday, he goes, end every possession with a kick. And that goes to your point, whether it's an extra point, a field goal, or a punt.
Yeah.
That's where I go. The intriguing thing, and I asked Freeze this question a couple of weeks ago, and he was like, we won't really know till we get into the games. I think it's one of the variables that has me thinking Auburn could be better than even 8 wins. I picked him to win 9. Is Jackson, his mobility. So during practice, he's not doing that. If he holds onto the ball, it does him no good in practice to tuck it and run. They blow the whistle. He doesn't go anywhere. So I don't know the answer to this, but I wonder if in practice, are there times where he's trying to, make a throw because why I'm out here to run 5 yards and get touched. I don't know the answer to that.
Very true.
But man, gosh, his mobility, I think it's the X factor Friday night. Like, I think it's very possible Auburn's offense, could they come out of the gate on fire? Sure. But it's also possible that there's some kinks. Game 1 on the road. There's got to be some kinks in the offense. And I look at it and go, his mobility can make up for some of that in game 1. Receiver's not open. Oh, we got something confused. The check's wrong, whatever. Oh, Jackson Arnold took off and got you 8. I think it's going to be a big part of Friday. We haven't seen it all camp. I bet he's itching to let me use my mobility a little bit. Let me run a little bit. I talked to somebody that was at the mock game on Friday, a week ago or whatever, the last kind of mock game. And the person that was there said, if he plays like that during the season, we'll be in good shape, because he was moving up in the pocket, but still, he said he made a couple of plays where he moved up in the pocket and hit like Malcolm on a crossing route that turns into 40 yards. Now, he could have tucked it and run and got him 10, but he kept his eyes up and hit somebody. And he's like, if he does that, where it's use your mobility, but still kind of look and find a guy. We saw that in the scrimmage 3 weeks ago, Cole Saturday, where he moved up and found somebody crossing.
Yeah,
man, I don't know. His mobility is just such a variable and an X factor that could take this offense to another level, and it could cover up for some inefficiencies. Like, Peyton was mobile, but he was looking to throw. I mean, Peyton running was last resort. I mean, he made some things happen for sure. But Jackson's a different thing. Like, he's going to get out and I think be a legit running threat, running back up the middle, designed runs. I don't know, man. I just think his mobility could be a big variable that we just don't know until we see it. We'll find out Friday kind of what that looks like. But I'm hoping that if things break down, that he's okay with taking off and running in addition to just throwing it away.
And I think they've gone against the grain for him a little bit in practice too, because the week before, I think we heard Freeze say something like, I want him to stand in, and while we're doing this, stand in and make some plays, make the right reads. I don't want you to take off too soon and leave it. Somebody might become open or whatever. And they've absolutely forced the issue on the drop back passing. 100% they're forcing the issue on that because they know that's where they're lacking.
Yeah.
Which is why you see Hugh Freeze throw his visor in frustration, because they're working on something.
Mm-hmm.
Good. I'm happy to see that. That fired me up. I loved it. I still don't understand why people took that situation as, oh my gosh.
They've never played football. That's why.
If you've ever been in a practice like that, you know how important that is, because later when you go to your position meeting, you're going to watch it again and you're going to get berated for it again. And it sucks, by the way. It's not fun. It's not enjoyable, but it makes it to where you don't want to do that again. That's how you do it. That's how you get better at offense. And I think they got better that day off of that one drill where he did not throw a touchdown, where Freeze walks off going, just throw a touchdown. It's not that hard. What are you doing?
Any chance we see number 9?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. I mean, I'd give the Freeze answer. Could it happen? It could. But no, I think Hugh Freeze would absolutely love for Jackson Arnold to play every snap of this game. I think like some other things that that comment that sparked that whole debate was an example of Freeze being honest. Could it happen? It could. And then not further explaining. But would I like Jackson Arnold to play every snap? Yes, I would like for him. I mean, he does not want to. First of all, he's not rotating quarterbacks, and he would like for one guy to play. That could there be a situation? Maybe, but I
hope not. Like, that was my point. Was like, I hope not. I hope Jackson Arnold plays every snap. I'm with Cole on this. I don't want a package for Deuce Knight. I don't want first and goal from the 4 and see number 9 run out on the field because that's their short yardage goal. I don't want to see that.
Yeah. But
I hope like hell we don't see anybody but 1-1 out there.
Like, as good as, and we've heard great things about Ashton as a runner. There was a quote from somebody we talked to the other day. I don't know, it was an offensive line. It might have been Chaplin. I don't remember. Who said something similar to what everybody else said about Ashton. Like, that guy's legit fast. I mean, he had a run in about a week or week and a half ago in a closed scrimmage. He had like a 70-yard touchdown run. But Jackson Arnold's mobile too. Like, what would be the situation or package that you take Jackson out, and what can they do? Is Jackson's mobile? He can run. I mean, maybe a 3rd and 1 where Ashton's a bigger guy and you're like, quarterback snap it, just run, tush push, some kind of thing, like toss Ashton in there, pound a yard, convert it, then put Jackson back in. I don't know. I don't really know the situation where you would start saying Jackson can't do this. Let's put this guy in for this package. I don't think that he wants to have any part of that, really.
Well, that goes back to the battle within that I was talking about. I feel like they fell victim to, or Freeze fell victim to, play calling temptation. I wrote a whole article on this. Man, you exactly like you said. You've got Jackson Arnold, who's got legs. He's proven runner. He can run. Yes, Ashton Daniels may be a hair better. So what? No offense to Ashton Daniels. You don't need to mess around. You don't need to mess with it. You need to go with what you're confident with. Stay in rhythm. That's a big deal. And stay away from the double reverse passes when you're driving and got a chance. Stay away from, making your quarterback make 3 reads on a 3rd and 6 that needs to be converted. Stay away from that mess. It's play calling temptation because it looks so good. It looks awesome. If you pull it off, it could be 6. I think Auburn needs a little bit of 2023 back in its offense this year. 2023, I've called the Service Academy offense 100 times. They didn't have a lot of play calling temptation. They weren't tempted by Jair Shorter. They weren't tempted by Shane Hooks. Those guys weren't tempting them to throw it to them. They gave it to Hunter. They let Robbie Ashford run. They had a great run package and believed in it, and it worked. Now, they didn't have a passing game, so that held them back. Now you got it. Now you have moments where you can go, all right, look, our concept routes, they're just not getting open. They've got a great defense on us, but got one-on-one with Cam Coleman. I got one-on-one with Eric Singleton. Let's see if they can stop that 10 times a game.
Did y'all believe for 1 second Dave Aranda talking about how they had to stop the run? And did you see that?
What did he say?
They were asking about how he was going to stop Auburn's offense. And he was, first priority is stopping the run. They've got a great run game. We're going to do all. And I thought, I think he's daring them to run the football. Like I don't believe that for a second.
There is an interesting dynamic there because Baylor was so bad on pass defense last year. And you're walking into this game, and if you're Hugh, it kind of goes back to what you were saying, Cole. Now, Eric Singleton's going to play. Hugh talked about that. He's not going to be 100%, but he said he's going to play. He said he's going to give it a go. I would think after treatment, he'd probably be – I think he'll be good. He won't be 100%, but I also don't think he's going to be so hindered that he'll be a liability. Like I think he'll be able to go and make plays, but you got Malcolm there as well. I wonder if you got a bad pass defense from a year ago. You're walking in there with Cam Coleman, Eric Singleton, and Malcolm Simmons, and do you get tempted to try to attack that and go? And if it works, great. But but at the end of the day, like this offense has still got to run the ball. I mean, you got to run the ball. Jackson's got to run the ball, and you got to set that stuff up. And I hope they don't walk in there thinking I got a bunch of shiny toys at receiver. Let's air this thing out. Let's take advantage of these guys that can't pass to defend. Now, if they do, then maybe they light them up. Maybe that's exactly what they should do. Like, hey, these guys can't guard us. Let's light them up. Maybe that's fine. But you've had issues protecting in scrimmages at times. I mean, a week ago when I came out and said that they got lit up, like they did. I mean, when they were dropping back, it was Jackson was getting lit up back there. So I don't know. I'm curious to sort of see what the game plan is. Do you go, golly, I really want to get after these guys on the pass defense and attack them and go downfield? But we've had issues protecting at times too. And so I don't know. That'll be.
Here's what Aranda said. I think it's going to come down to stopping the run and making them feel like they have to throw it. I think if they're running the ball and they can play action pass and RPO at will, we're not kind of in control of anything. And that's when those wide receiver matchups become an issue.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, if I were Dave Aranda, I'd put it all on Arnold first before anything else. And
that's what he's saying.
Yeah, let's see what he can do. Right? Can he beat us? We'll find out in two series if he can beat us, maybe. Or he might get warmed up and start beating us later. But at least you make it that far in the game where you're going, okay, I think we got a read on this defense. I mean, on this offense. The thing about this offense and what I think they got away from a lot last year, it is designed to take what is given. If everything is executed right, if the right decisions are made, defense can't be right. Defense can't stop it. That's the design of the offense. They load the box, you throw your out route. They loosen the box because you're starting to hit them on those throws. You have a light box to run on, and it should be good. You have an offensive line that can handle that. I think this offense and this roster now is built to be able to execute it better. I feel better about that part of it. Even if they get into what I'm calling play call temptation, like you were just saying too, Justin.
Yeah, I really want to see this offense operated efficiently to make better judgments. Because I hear everything you're saying, and yes, the RPO game, like in theory, they should never be right. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. I'm not an expert. I also think if you're the defense and you're going, well, if they're just reading us, then I know based on how I line up what they're going to read, and then based on that, I know where they're going to go. So like, I feel like the defense could also play it that way too, and go, well, we're going to line up. He's going to read him, so then they're going to think that's open, and we can start to trick them. And I don't know. It's an awesome offense, but man, you got to have everybody on the right page. I mean, it like receivers, they got to be thinking the same way. I mean, it's beautiful when it works, and it's like, man, this thing's awesome. But then when it doesn't, you saw last year, there's times you're like, this offense is good, and then and when it doesn't work, it is a disaster. It is it's not much different from the Malzahn days. When it's good, it is good, and when it is not, it is atrocious. Like, there's not a lot of middle ground.
I think that's exactly what Aranda's saying too. I saw a lot of defenses. Travis Williams, shout out to him. Arkansas did it as good as anyone, baiting Auburn into a certain, like if they wanted them to run, they knew how to line up to make them do that. If they wanted them to throw, they knew how to line up to make them do that. and defenses can do that. What Freeze has been saying all these years with the roster talent is, I know defenses can do that to us, but when we have the playmakers, we can get around it.
Mm-hmm.
In other words, I haven't been able to do that yet, and it seems like he's got more confidence in that part of it now.
Yeah, he's certainly putting it out there. I'll give him a credit. And I've given him credit a bunch of times, and I'll continue to give him credit. He's come a long way since his comments at the Regions in whenever that was, May or June, where he says bowl game, maybe, like since then he realized, okay, that wasn't the best comment. And he's been, he's absolutely like, we got the talent, like we need to be winning games. I mean, he said it just this last week. He's like, his quote was, I've been around enough to know when you have the talent to win games, and we've got the talent to win games. So I give him credit for stepping up and just matching and just being honest and taking on some of that expectation. I think that was a good thing. Cole, let me ask you this, because you've probably looked at Baylor more than Jeffrey and I. We know about Sawyer Robertson, super talented guy. I was reading a list the other day of the top 50 quarterbacks in college football. He was in the top 20. Jackson Arnold, by the way, did not make this list of top 50, which is just, I don't have a problem with it, I guess. I mean, he didn't have a great year, but we know Jackson Arnold's capable of a lot of great things. But Sawyer Robertson's up there, extremely talented. I don't know a lot about the rest of Baylor's team. Defense wasn't great last year. I looked at some of their numbers there, rushing defense, total defense. It was, I don't even know if you'd call it was average at best, across the board. Offense was certainly better. But my thought the other day was, there's a lot of talk around Auburn, and I know we feel this way about if Auburn can just do this little thing, if Arnold can be this team can exceed expectations. This team can be so good. Is anybody thinking about Baylor in that way? Like Baylor's ranked ahead of Auburn in the early preseason polls. I mean, they're like 30, 31. Auburn's like 37. I mean, Baylor, you go find any preseason poll, ESPN, FPI, whatever, Baylor's right there. They're thought of as the same type of team in terms of a preseason ranking as Auburn. But my question is Baylor, are we underestimating Baylor? We're like, if Auburn just does this little thing, Auburn can win this game by 2 touchdowns. Well, could Baylor? I mean, we think Auburn has the talent gap, but like Baylor had some good additions in the portal, or is this, no, we've read this right. Auburn's more talented, period. If they don't turn the ball over, Auburn should take care of business. Or is there some element of Baylor that's being underestimated in this whole thing, and they could be the team that surprises people on how good they are?
Their offense certainly is capable of that. It'll scare you how much I know about Baylor.
I asked you.
Yeah, I have a problem. Sorry, Robertson, Bryson Washington, those two guys are legit. You'd take them at Auburn right now. Put it that way. Now they have 2 key injuries. Dawson Pendergrass is a big loss for them. He was their backup running back, but he was used a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Their other injuries in their secondary, who is I think is a key player. He played most every snap a year ago. Carl Williams. So they've lost him for this game at least. The offensive line is where I look, Justin. I think they have an edge there, and I'm putting a story up. You'll be reading that by the time you're watching this. But Ryan Langell, Colton Price, Omar Agbedion, the 3 interior guys, that's your 2 guards and center. I think you minus center because of Connor Lew. I'd take those 2 guards at Auburn right now. That's how good I think they are. Ryan Langell and Omar Agbedion. You got Sidney Fugar at left tackle and a new guy at right tackle. Everybody else played last year, and they were good and led that offense to what they were, and like almost 40 points a game or whatever they were, right?
Yeah.
So that's where I'm worried. That's where I think they're being underestimated a little bit, because Auburn's interior defensive line, to me,
question mark, big old question mark.
It is. I mean, it's yes, they're deep. I'm happy about that. That's going to be great. I love the fresh legs that are going to be rolling in, but how good are they? I mean, Malik Blockton gets a lot of praise, but I'm going to tell you, going back on film, he was very inconsistent. People don't realize that. He had flashy plays, but he was boom or bust sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
That worries me because they will roll him off the ball on top of his head in the run game. That's how good they are at that. Their pass protection's good. So pass rush, is it good enough? Keyron Crawford, can he finish against that? I don't have that answer yet. I do have confidence, but that's where I get worried about for Auburn in this.
Zach said Omar was a freshman All-American at Montana State last year.
Yeah.
My question to you, Cole, is two of my biggest. Listen, I'm concerned the defense is not as good as everybody thinks it is.
Mm-hmm.
I think it can be, but I don't know if it will be, at least Friday night. But here's my biggest concern on offense for Auburn. How good is Baylor's pass rush and Xavier Chaplin? I know there's been a lot of good buzz about him. Cole, if I'm not mistaken, dude, you gave me some mixed reviews on him. Didn't you?
Yeah, I just don't think he's a first rounder. That's
Okay.
where I'm at. Everybody's kind of jumping to that. I don't think he's good enough as a pass blocker to be a first rounder. And that doesn't mean he won't be a good pass blocker for Auburn. He still might be one of the best we've seen in years. But to be a first round offensive left tackle, you know how good you have to be for that. I don't know if he's in that tier. I love him as a run blocker, and I really like him as a pass blocker, but I don't know if he's first round level. That's as far as I'd go with it.
Does Baylor have a Keyron Crawford, a Keldrick Falk?
Now, they got a lot of guys in the portal that I don't know as much about. Jackie Marshall is the one that stood out to me on film, and then Freeze, he's when he was asked about it, he said 0, and he's number 0. I was like, okay, that lines up, that tracks. That guy's good. He is flashy. Like you would take him at Auburn. He might be a starter.
Okay.
Devin Bobby's the same. He's a safety for Baylor. I'd put him in Auburn's 2 deep at least, maybe starter. So they got some guys. Their pass rush was their weak point last year, and that is exactly where they spent the most time in the portal. They got 4 linebackers and a couple edge guys. So trying to shore that up, that was a problem for them. And by the way, I do have the star breakdown, and for those of you who care about that, most people do.
Mm-hmm.
The average of Auburn's defense, star average, 89.54, which is a 4-star average.
Okay.
Baylor's defense, 86.03. That's a 3-star average. About a mid 3-star average. Auburn's offense, 89.42, 4-star average. Baylor's offense, 84.51, really, really low 3-star average. So we put all this stock in the high school rankings. There you go.
Yeah, I think Jeffrey brings up a good point about the defense, and I think it's worth. We'll find out more Friday, but it's definitely worth some second thought about exactly how good are they going to be and when. And it all goes to that interior defensive line, which probably then spills over to linebacker a little bit. I mean, the linebackers will be better. If the interior defensive line is good, then the linebackers will have some room to run and they'll be better. The way the interior defensive line plays will dictate a lot of, what the linebackers can do. But yeah, it goes back to the interior defensive line has always been a question mark. We've written stories about their depth. But that doesn't mean it's going to be awesome depth. It just means, I think we need to clarify their plan is to play a lot of guys, but that's kind of because they don't have a stud. They don't have a dude that's like, no, that guy's playing 50 snaps because for sure we'll figure out the rest. They don't. There's a lot of unknowns. So their plan right now is everybody give me your best at a lower quantity of reps. And that could be good, but it also could point to not having one dude that you're like, I know exactly what that guy's about. I don't quite know. Bobby Travis hadn't done it yet. Malik Blockton, a lot of promise, hasn't done it yet. I mean, you got James Ash and Dallas Walker in here, transfers in there. You got Zacchaeus Walker. My gosh, when does he finally step up? I mean, who knows when he finally does? Like, there's a lot of question marks about the interior defensive line. And they're right. Their only hope is not their only hope. Guys could step up and somebody could turn into a star. But for now, it's can you give me your all for a few reps and then we rotate in? And that might work. But yeah, I'm with you. And then hearing you talk about Baylor's 2 guards and center, I think you're looking right at it. I mean, they're going to run right up the middle. They're going to do some of that draw, some of the same kind of RPO stuff. And your secondary can be good. Your secondary can have good players. But if you aren't stopping the run, not going to matter much how good Jay Crawford is.
Yeah, and I'll say this too. I'll give him credit. I want to give DJ Durkin credit. I wrote about this Tuesday night. I feel like the defensive line's in good hands. Okay, yes, we have our issues, we have our worries, but you have a defensive coordinator that demands perfect run fits. We saw this a year ago. They were really good. How many times did I tap you on the shoulder, Justin, in the press box and go, dude, they closed the run as good as I've seen at Auburn in a long time. You remember me doing it? I kept seeing it, and I was like, gosh, they just close it. They constrict. They understand it. Like they have a high level of understanding. Now, you don't have everybody. I thought Philip Bleedy was really underrated. Dorian Mausi underrated in that regard. So you're having to fill some holes there. But I think the understanding, I think they're in good hands as far as the coaching and the technique and the fundamentals go. And I feel okay about that. How far along are they in game one is what I don't know. I hope they're – I mean, you do have some veterans in there. It's not like you're there. And I actually think the best talent's at the bottom. Malik Autry, Jordan Crawford. I think those guys are the most talented in the room. They're just not ready. You don't know if they're ready for that action yet.
That action. Yeah, I mean, your nose tackle, Bobby Travis, Dallas Walker, Jay Hardy. Okay, so Bobby Travis is a senior who is yet to really – I mean, he hasn't done anything.
He had good reps a year ago, but he wasn't taking any games over anything, no.
And then Dallas Walker and Hardy, who are transfers, who the one thing I will look at is, man, Travis is 322, Walker's 360, Hardy's 320, Crawford's 335, Autry's 330, Blockton's is 300. I mean, Ash is over 300. I mean, there's some big boys in there. That Freeze is right. Like, they're going to have to buy in. That group's going to have to completely buy into freely rotating. Nobody gets the credit. I'm out. You're in. We got to do this collectively. Similar to the running backs, maybe. It's for sure going to have to be a selfless attitude with that group, and feed off each other in terms of getting in there and being fresh and making plays. But yeah, that's definitely something to watch, and it'll be. I don't know that we know the answer quite yet about how good that group's going to be, and you could talk about linebackers too. I mean, have we heard? I mean, Riddick's been a little banged up. We know he's talented. Definitely heard some good stuff about Atkins and Dees, but Dees is a freshman. Like, let's be real. Have we heard good things about him in fall camp? Yeah, but is that because he's a true freshman, and we're like, oh, a true freshman, he's doing pretty well, or is it like, no, he's gonna be legit good, or are we saying that he's good for a true freshman? Like, I mean, I think we'll find that answer. Woodyard and Wheatland. I mean, Woodyard's like Zacchaeus Walker. Like, how long are you going to be here before you live up to the billing? Caleb Wheatland, how's he transition? Like, I'm with you, Jeffrey. That defense can be good. There's definitely some ability, and you definitely believe in Durkin, but there's still a bunch of question marks. And going up against a top 30 offense on the road, game one, huge test, huge challenge.
It is. It really is. Then I go back to offense, and I feel like they've got a major advantage there.
They better. I think they better. I mean, yeah. You're talking about if you believe Sawyer Robertson's a top 15-ish quarterback in the country, he's got all kinds of accolades. He's not going to play a game at home. I mean, they're going to put points on the board. He's going to be comfortable. They're going to be confident. That's the confident part of their team. So you're going to need to score close to 30, if not more. I think defense could be good and give up 24. I mean, or whatever, 20. They could give up 27. I don't know, but they could play not bad and give up 24, where you got to get to 30.
By the way, my official breakout player pick was
for the season, or
for the season. was Xavier Atkins.
Oh, I like it.
I have heard great things about him.
He's a transfer from
LSU.
They took him over the Smith kid from Tennessee.
Oh yeah,
so keep an eye on that. Let's see how if they made the right choice there.
That was 100% a Durkin deal.
Mm-hmm.
He liked that guy out of high school. He didn't need to see any film from LSU. I would like to take that guy as basically a freshman. And the things I've heard about him are, I will say instincts. Like his instincts as a linebacker have been compared to a guy like Jacoby McClain. They're not saying he's the next Jacoby McClain. They're saying his instincts, the way he triggers to the ball, reminds them of Jacoby McClain. Is he perfect? No, he's overreading some things. He's over scraping. He's doing some of that, which is that could lead to points in a game like this, as good as Bryson Washington is. But then you feel good about your secondary. Caleb Harris. I like him. I think Eric Winters is going to be playing a lot. At the other
he is. I think we're all on the same page on that. He's higher up than Fagans, and I think Eric Winters is right there with
Champ and
Jacquez Robinson, and like Winters is second. He's coming off the bench and he's playing.
It would not shock me if he's starting at some point. He won't be in this game.
Yeah,
but
agreed.
So
yeah. Real quick before we get to picks and stuff. Kicker. I think Alex McPherson, very much up in the air. Very much up in the air from everything I am hearing. Obviously Hugh Freeze said that it's a continuous battle with him. I feel absolutely terrible for him that he's still going through this. It's just what he's dealing with just sucks. He can't keep food down. He's losing weight. He's out there with such a great attitude. I feel terrible for him, and he's battling. But I know he kicked a little bit this week, but I'm not sure. He might not kick Friday. If he does, and I think we could. I don't know. It's going to be something to watch, maybe week to week. But if it gets worse, he could end up being shut down. I have no idea. He is literally a just constant to be determined at this point. Where if he feels good and he's got some energy, maybe you send him out there 30 and in. But I can't imagine 35 and out. You're probably going to see Towns or Connor. I've heard that they've kicked well in camp. I've asked, and I've been told that all the kickers have had a pretty good percentage. I think with Towns, like he needs to go into a game and make a kick, man.
Yeah.
Gosh, he just needs confidence. But what are our thoughts there? Because the kicking issues cost him last year. It hurt him, and
big time.
Man, can you imagine sort of fixing the offense and you don't turn it over and you fix some of the stuff, and then kicker's still not figured out and you blow some chances? I don't know. Is that a really big concern going into Friday night, or is it just kind of a side storyline, or should it be like a headline storyline? Like what's going to happen at kicker, and is this a bigger deal than we think?
I think it's a huge deal, especially when a game's is going to be as close as it's expected to be. Man, a missed field goal could cost you this one. I think it's absolutely huge. Leaving points on the field is absolutely huge in a game like this. If they, next week against South Alabama, or Ball State, and the next win against South Alabama, you can miss field goals. But I just do not believe you could leave points on the field with missed kicks. And I thought McPherson had taken a turn, man. I feel like there's a lot of optimism going into fall camp about where he stood health wise, and I hate, just personally, man, forget football. I hate it for him personally that he's still having to deal with all this. And listen, Towns, Justin, you nailed it. Dude has got to get in there and get rid of the yips, man. He's got to make some kicks. You've got to go out there knowing that you're about to put this one down. And if he can't do it, at least you went out and got another option in Connor Gibbs.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to be able to make kicks.
I think didn't Freeze say Alex McPherson had the opportunity to get a surgery and turned it down because it could have stopped him from playing, and so he's probably still going to have symptoms from everything he's got going on, and it's going to be a roller coaster. I think he said that in the opening press conference before fall camp, if I'm not mistaken. But I'm with Jeffrey here. It is huge. It's points, man. Points are points. That's why everybody gets on me about criticizing Kay and Lee. Well, he gave up points. That's your job at corner. You can't let somebody get behind you in man-to-man corner. It's the same thing. Kicker, you can't miss opportunities for points. It's too crucial. If you're doing that, remember that margin for error thing I was talking about? It closes back up. And that's very unfortunate because I think it's a better football team. So that is huge. I'll say this too. This might be a hot take. I don't think Oscar Chapman was very good.
I hear you. Not last year. He was mid at best.
They got to be better there.
Who's got to be better?
Hudson Cock. Oh, thanks. You wanted me to say that. Hudson Cock.
You saw his repost?
Yeah, it was great. He's funny, man.
He reposted the depth chart. My thing about the depth chart, and he reposted because down at the bottom, the pronunciation guide was just, they got right to the point. Here's how you pronounce his last name.
I mean, it's not wrong. That's exactly how you say it.
It's dead on.
You got a name like that, you're going to be funny. You know it.
You have to. It's like, you just have to embrace it and run with it.
In all seriousness, though, he's got I hope he's an upgrade because nothing against Oscar had some good punts, but he wasn't flipping the field. We've seen Auburn punters flip the field, and
he was much better the year before. Like he was actually really good in 2023.
The new punting style is interesting. It's gone to the Australian style, and they can do crazy things with the ball, and it's great for your coffin corners and pinning it and all that. But the power, I feel like, has not been there. Even with Aaron Sipas, I didn't think he was dominant. He's in the NFL now, but go back to like Cody Bliss and Stephen Clark. Those guys were booming it. They had hang time. They had distance. I'm missing that a little bit.
You know who's waiting in the wings, though?
John Michael Montgomery.
John Michael Montgomery.
Do you know? You don't know that.
Justin, I think that's a recruiting show.
I know who John Michael Montgomery is. I don't know the joke.
John Michael Montgomery signed with Auburn in December out of Thompson.
John Allen McGuire. Jeffrey calls him John Michael Montgomery every time.
Classic 90s country.
That dude can punt now. That kid could.
Strong leg.
Yeah. You're getting back to the OG style of punting with him. But I'm gonna tell you something. I have absolute high expectations for Kiak. I do.
Yeah, I do too.
I do. I think he can be really good. I'm excited to see. And just talking to Chad Lunsford and how high he thinks of Kiak.
And he was. I mean, he was a target. I mean, he was. I don't know his numbers last year, but I know when he came in. He was well thought of. He had options. He had legit transfer options from Oklahoma State, and they locked him up on that visit. I was looking last year, by the way, at field goals. Oklahoma, you lose by 6. You went 0 for 2 field goals. So there's 6 points. Missouri, you missed a field goal. You lost by 4. But you add a field goal there. I don't remember how the end of that game ended. I mean, down 4 compared to down 1, that's a difference. Vanderbilt lose by 10, missed 2 field goals. Okay. I guess Vanderbilt scored late. So that game could have been 13-10. Vanderbilt scores. So maybe nothing changes there, but certainly you have 3 games, 6 points, 4 points, and 10 points. And you missed 2, 3, 5 field goals in those 3. So you're talking about 1-score games. Well, a 10-point game and multiple missed field goals in those games. And it doesn't always have to be like, oh, well, you still would have lost. Well, not necessarily. Give yourself 6 more points, and the situations change, and the field changes, and the dynamic changes, and the confidence changes. And
mentality of the opponent.
Yeah.
How about this for a stat for you? You ready for this?
What you got?
Hudson Cock. I know, punter stats. One of his best averages of the year. He was a 43 average. He got over that about 3 times. One of the best of the year was almost 44 a yard average on 3 punts. Was against Baylor last year. And his second longest punt of the year was against Baylor, 50 yards. There we go.
Okay. Time to shine, baby.
Time to shine.
Yep. Special teams as a whole should be better. I expect that to be better.
Me too.
Okay, let's end with this. So our predictions are up on the site already, which has a score, I believe.
Yeah.
We all did pick them with a score and some thoughts. So we can reiterate that here, but tell me your headline. Like, tell me the score, but tell me what's the headline of why you think it went that way. I'll start. I think I said 27-20. Auburn was my prediction. And for me, I already mentioned earlier, to me, the headline would be Jackson Arnold and his mobility. I think if Auburn wins, I think his mobility is going to be something we go, oh, that's a real thing. It's a real threat. He made things happen. 3rd and 8, he made some plays. It absolutely was a huge difference in the game when the offense wasn't quite running smoothly. Some things break down. He made a play. I think if Auburn wins, that's what we're pointing to, is his ability to scramble, extend a play, some design runs. I think his mobility is going to show off, and he's going to make some stuff happen, and Auburn wins 27-20.
I have it 31-27. My headline is turnovers and kicking game. And we just talked about it. Don't turn the football over. And I actually wrote on the board, if Auburn goes out, doesn't turn the football over, doesn't leave points on the board or on the field, and still loses, I tip my hat to Baylor and say, let's go. Let's move on. I can deal with a loss with no turnovers. I'm talking fumbles, interceptions, and then, of course, missed kicks. I think if you do that, if you win the turnover battle, and I think Cole's right, you've got a little bit of margin of error, a little bit better margin of error this year. I think you can probably get away with one. Gosh, even though I don't want to. But you don't turn the ball over, you make your kicks, I think you win.
My score prediction is 31-21. So more than a touchdown, 10 points. I think the storyline, I think what we'll see is that Auburn's defense made plays when it had to. I think that's it, because in my opinion, holding this Baylor offense to 21 is a win. That's a win.
I would agree.
And that's exactly why I did the score that way, because if you can do that, you're beating a good offense that way. Your defense had a good day, I think. Doesn't sound like it. 21 feels like a lot of points, but they can score, man. They really can. That's been their thing, which is weird to say about a Dave Aranda defense. I mean, a Dave Aranda team, because he's a defensive guy. But that's I feel that way. I've always said I think Hugh Freeze is a defensive-minded coach. I think he wants to put his defense in good positions. At least he's trying to. That's what he based his entire offense around in 2023. Let's keep them in a good spot. I think he goes back to that a little bit this year, and I think you'll see the defense benefit from it. And I think the offense puts points on the board, but the defense to me is the bigger storyline. Auburn's got a defense that can hang this year.
Yeah, and your comment about making plays when they need to, I went and looked it up. Baylor was pretty good on 3rd down last year, 32nd in the country, 44%. So that's good. I mean, they were a good 3rd down offense team. So that would Auburn's defense making plays would lead me to believe that Baylor ends up that's 4 of 12 on 3rd down, or something like that.
Yeah, it'd be good.
31-21, is that a late score by Auburn to push it to 10, or is that a game where Auburn's winning 31-14 in the 4th quarter and Baylor tacks one on and they get it to 10, but Auburn's in good? Or is that 24-21, it's tight, and Auburn puts it away late? How do you see it?
Yeah, I think it's tight. I think Auburn gets the score in the 4th quarter, maybe not like down to the buzzer, but has a big boy drive.
Yeah,
and finishes the game that way, and then defense comes out and holds.
I'm kind of with you. I'm thinking maybe it gets to 27-17. Baylor kicks a field goal, 27-20, and then Auburn holds on and closes it out, something like that. Or it could be 24-20 and Auburn kicks a field goal under 8. And
I have a play replaying in my mind. If you go back to 2023, Auburn Cal on the road at Cal, this game feels like that for some reason.
God,
it's weird. It's that one just felt weird.
I hope it doesn't look like that.
God, that was the ugliest football game I've ever seen.
Holy moly.
I mean, you remember the feeling going in that game like, this is just a weird game.
It was late. I remember that.
That's how I feel going.
Yeah.
Stupidly late.
It was like 9:00. But the way Auburn won that game and ended that game was a 4th and 2, and they gave it to Damari Austin, who powered ahead for a first down. I could see it ending a certain way, a similar way this year.
I think we do all agree, and Jeffrey brought it up, that this is not the end-all be-all game. If they play well and lose, maybe we all go, okay, Baylor's good. Baylor's good. Auburn showed me enough to think that they can build on that. And I will. If you come out of this game and go, I'd still give Auburn a chance in Norman or College Station. If they lose, if you come out saying I still give them a shot, then that's okay. If you come out going, you do that again, no shot. You have no shot of winning Norman. Like those are two different things. And winning, maybe. I mean, a little bit less. I mean, a win is a win. You certainly could walk away from the win like that Cal game and go, okay, they won, but that was not pretty. You won't win at Norman or College Station that way. So it does depend on how you win or how you lose. But I do think it's not end all be all. But it is a bigger game for Auburn than it is for Baylor.
It's not. It's what scares me though, Justin, is that I do not put this in the category on Auburn's schedule as a toss-up. This is one you should win. We just read off the star average. They got a better football team. Star, pound for pound, however you want to say it. They should win this game, and that's what scares me because there's a chance they don't. And I don't like that. I don't like that for where we're at right now.
Yeah.
But should not be considered. I don't think it should be considered a toss-up. I think Auburn's got a better football team.
That's a high ball. I mean, you're talking about a team that's ranked ahead of you, a top 30-ish team on the road. I mean,
but they're doing more.
Ish. I mean,
they're doing more with less. Auburn's doing less with more. That's what bothers me.
Yeah, I hear you, Cole. That's perfectly said.
Yeah, based on the schedule, I hear what you're saying. Certainly, if they lose, my prediction of 9-3 is a long shot because now they got to go 2-2 against on the road A&M, on the road Oklahoma, Bama, Georgia. They have to be 2-2 in those four and no more slip ups. 9-3, like my prediction of 9-3, if they lose, becomes not impossible, but it very, very, very unlikely. And like I think they'll win Friday. That's why I picked it. But you lose this, now you're staring at 8-4 for sure with no more slip ups. So like it's a big game in that regard. But I don't know. I mean, it's been back and forth on the line. So I don't know, Cole. I hear what you're saying about not being a toss up. I give credit for going on the road. Baylor's a good team. First game, like if Auburn wins this game, they will have overcome a lot. I've beaten a really good team on the road right out of the gate. A lot of new pieces. I don't know.
All the factors make it a toss-up, but it's not a toss-up when you really look at it and go, all right, these two teams going against each other. You got to put your money on Auburn. If that's they got the better team on paper. And that's what we put all the stock into these days.
Yeah. Yeah. It goes back to just a lot of lingering uncertainty.
Yep.
With Breeze in this team, and you're like, you could make the best case in the world for Auburn, and you go, yeah, but have you been watching lately? I hear what you're saying, but you know,
right, exactly.
You just want to see him go do it. All right, we'll get out of here on that. 7:00 Friday night, Auburn Baylor, big one. And we'll see how things go. It'll be a fun game, I think. And good to have a Friday night game. Everybody can relax, watch some good games on Saturday. LSU, Clemson, and Bama, Florida State, Texas, Ohio State. And then Notre Dame, Miami is Sunday or Monday. So you got some good games to sit back and watch as well. All right. Appreciate you joining us. Go to auburnsports.com, join, subscribe to the YouTube channel, get notifications, all that good stuff. And we'll be back. Cole and I will be back with a recap show on Monday morning. And then we'll be back with the Friday forecast next Friday for Ball State. See ya.